right, sports fans, welcome to Sports Night with Jorge. Once again, thank you so much. We're back for the probably second segment about Pride and Eagle. As you know, that's going around the league. Getting more details on you on that, by the way. This is going to be part two. Um, Listen, I'm going to finish off by saying thank you so much for all the subscribers. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. But this topic is very serious, guys. And I'm gonna bring a little thing recap about what happened yesterday. I know I talk about a lot about free agency and what's going on in sports, but listen, we have to understand one thing, and I said this in the podcast yesterday. If you didn't watched it, you can see it's the first episode. There's a second episode. I didn't write it down on my short there, but on my little intro there. But yes, guys, the money is controlling us instead of us controlling the money. Uh, Money has basically has separated families, has separated even sports. It separates so many things. And yeah, I know we're gonna have this comment saying, "Well, without money, we can't do nothing in this world." Yeah, exactly right. I'm not saying without money, but what happened is we have to control it, not the money control us. Seeing these observe contracts signed by sports in general, soccer, football, baseball, basketball. Man, are we really doing the right thing? I'm gonna say this, and I don't say this in the wrong way. With hunger, poverty, people in the street, homeless, and yes, once again, the comment out there will say, "Well, George, sometimes people choose their life." I'm not gonna disagree with you. I'm not gonna get mad with you, or you know, it's your opinion, it's my opinion. Once again, but at the same time, the way the world's going, what direction are we taking? What are we showing our kids growing up? The green, the dollar bill, the sign of this. Those are the things we have to watch. I'm not saying that if you work hard, if you're rewarded, that's okay. That's a different thing. But in sports now, you have these guaranteed contract that you give to these players, a bonus. It's guaranteed. That's their money in their pocket. The other money, like they say, is not actually guaranteed, but it's still there. The money's still there regardless. Okay, and you said to and I use an example. And I'm gonna use Garrett, Miles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns, great linebacker. I love his play. I love his everything. But like I said, you sign him quarterback money, $40 million a year, plus the signing bonus, of course. The bonus is what counts. The bonus is yours regardless, but still $40 million. What example are you setting up there? So that means if he makes 40, in a couple of years, you're gonna have linemen making 70 million a year, probably more. Who knows? And I could be wrong with this, but the way I see it, it just makes you think. Then you got ourselves, our sons and daughters that are in sports. You want the best from them. You want them to be successful. Uh, but here's what a part we don't understand as human being, and I know you guys will know what I'm trying to say here. there's ups and downs in any kind. It could be at work, regular work. It had not to be sports. Uh, how motivated you are, how excited you are. So when you're doing well, it's when the green picks up. Uh, I'm going to use baseball as a terminology on this one. There's single A, double A, triple A, and Major League Baseball. NFL only has college football, draft, and go to the NFL. Of course, I think they still got the USFL, whatever they call it now, the new league. Okay, but look at these contracts. At single A, you might make 100,000, close to it. Double A might make 200,000. Triple A might make 400,000. And then in the majors, when you make the big money. So here you are, number one prospect. Join Major League Baseball. Okay? Your dad will sit down with you, of course. Your dad, your mom, your parents. Hey, man, this guy's worth, and he hasn't played one single at-bat in the major leagues. And there's the contract right there. Man, we want to give you, 3 or 4 years with the ball club worth $80, $90 million without putting one single at-bat in your shoulder and swinging at the ball. So my question is this: what are we doing to our kids, man? Our kids are not symbols. They're human beings, okay? They have talent. And I'm going to say it again. The talent comes from the guy up there. Their blessings come from the guy up there. And I know some of these fathers and dads, they were former Major League Baseball players, and they want their son. See, and that's another thing. They want to follow their father's footstep. Sometimes it happens. You could follow your father's footstep. But one thing is, don't pressure a kid or anybody to do something that they don't want to do. If they love it, they have a passion, they love baseball, okay, I have no problem with that. But here's the problem. It's not the same contract that your dad, signed years ago to the one you sign now. So I'll bring now back the NFL for a second. How many number one draft pick has failed in the NFL? That they were number one, never made it in the league. And why? Because of the money. Look at the quarterback Menzel. What happened to him? What did the money did? It ruined his career, his life. Unfortunately, the good thing is, man, we pray for that individual to get better. So we look at back and we sit down and we look at everybody's history in college football, going to the NFL, baseball, the same thing. Look at baseball when they did the steroid stuff. Really? 60, 70 homers, 90 homers? That's cheating, regardless. But then I'm going to say something you guys not going to like. But you got Pete Rose that gambled for his baseball team, passed away, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. But you had people who did steroids and still playing Major League Baseball. I don't get that. You see, it has to be fair and square across the board. Now, do I agree? I mean, yes, okay, you got rules and... Listen, you got rules and policies that you have to follow in the National Football League and Major League Baseball. Okay, I'm not saying that, if you did this, you did right. If you did wrong, okay, you know what? But where's forgiveness? There is punishment, but where's forgiveness? We can't forgive the person. Just think about it. I ask myself that. Where's forgiveness? They're human just like me and you. We're entitled to make mistakes. But no, man. It's a point that in this world that we live in now, it's about the dough, and the dough is the money. You show me the money, and I'll be right there. So I come with this. Where's the love of the individual? See, we can't love money. Why do we love money? The moment you got it, you spend it. It's gone. You know, my dad used to tell me this years ago when he passed away. Your best friend is the money you have in your pocket. That is your best friend. And I said, wow, Dad, why do you tell me that for? Because that's the only one you can count with. You know, you can count with. And then the moment it runs out, you can't count with it anymore. I said, wow, that's a new one to me. But once again, man, money has ruined every sports. These salaries, it's just crazy, man. The other day we were watching a statistic. Otani, the pitcher and baseball player, the combination for the Dodgers, how much money he makes per at bat. I almost flip out. Was it 340 or 355,000 per at bat, something like that? Or per game? Sorry, or per game. That's insane, guys. You know how many people you could feed with that? How many people you could help with that? How many homeless people? I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, guys. You know, when we can help other people, okay? And I'm not saying the NFL don't have charities and players have charities and they have programs. You know, I'm not saying the baseball don't have charity also, and neither is soccer. I mean, they all different sports. They got their own charity, things to help people and help kids with, with dementia, or whatever, or families or military people, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Okay, but what about those that's outside the street? What are we doing with those? I would like to know how a player is spending the money. They'll buy a mansion. They'll buy 3 or 4 cars. For what? Can you take that to heaven? No. Just listen me out, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here to judge anybody. Okay. If you're a person that worship money, um, that's not good. I don't worship money. I don't fellowship with money either. That's something you got to be careful on. You just got to be careful. It's just a hot topic. You got to be careful. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. I'm not telling you how to use your money. I'm not saying that here. And if anybody thinks that way, that is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the ego and the pride, because we want so much and we have so much. There's a saying that rich people don't live happy. Why? Because they don't know what to do with their money. Now, whether that's not true or not, I don't know. I'm not an expert on that either. But that's what you hear, right? So you can't hear everything they say out there. But if you're so rich, what else do you want? What can you do with the rest of the money? I'm using an example. The actor Keanu Reeves, tremendous, amazing. Now I know there's good actors out there, but Keanu, I mean, come on, guys. What this guy does for the homeless, walking in the street, sitting down, talking to them, having conversation. You guys seen the videos on YouTube or on social media? Unfortunately, everybody cannot be like him. That is the sad part. But not changing the subject, boy, and go back to sports. Pride and ego. Pride and ego for me is more like I won't say a mental issue. It's more like let me see which word I could use for you so you can understand. It's more like you giving yourself power. You think you have more power, you got more authority, you got more, and you know what? You really don't. God does. The guy up there has the power, has the authority. He gives you the wisdom. He gives you the knowledge. He gives you the understanding. Now, I'm trying to say something that people don't get upset thinking about. Well, are you converting me? I'm not converting anybody into anything. All I'm saying is we need to wake up, be smart to make decisions. Okay? We we get a raise at work for 25 cents, we complain. We get a raise for 10 cents, we complain more. They give us a dollar raise, that was not good enough either. So, performances, there's responsibility in sports, okay? Just like a work. You come to work, you're never late, you're dependable, you're reliable, just like the NFL. But then the NFL, you got people that miss practice, don't go to films, study films. They don't do that, and they get paid the big bucks. Why? Because here's where the pride comes in. Because he's special, and I'm using an example here only. Oh, he's Tyreek Hill. He could do it, and of course, I'm not saying that he's doing it. I'm just saying that I'm using an example. Oh, that's Ramsey. Oh man, he get paid the big bucks. He don't need to play. Or because why on preseason? Because he don't need to. I mean, he got it set. He got his position there. He's a safety. He's good to go. Or the other guy's a cornerback or a quarterback. He don't need to play. We don't take that risk. Have you noticed lately when a player don't play in preseason, especially the starters, when they enter the game or probably the third game of the season, which is the preseason, they start the season with a hamstring, with a shoulder soreness, knee soreness. It's funny, man. You see that they already the season started. Excuse me. After 3 games of preseason, and the moment they start, they're injured, and they want to protect them because you know what they and here's the word I'm coming out is an asset to the company, which is more like an asset to the owners and the GMs. We gotta protect Tua. He makes a lot of money. But is everybody forgetting about the 53 men that you have in your roster? They're also a human being. They also got a family. They also pay bills. And I know that this might come up. You pay a quarterback more money than the other quarterback. But the funny part is, at the end of the day, they both play the same position. Yeah, but one's more athletic. One has more speed. One has a better arm. One is more knowledgeable. The other one, really? Really? So, if one is more knowledgeable and one has more speed, and they're both quarterbacks, what's the difference? The pay. Imagine if the NFL or any sports will put a number saying, hey, quarterbacks, they only can average 65 million a year. Beyond that, we can't pay no more. Will you still pay quarterback, or will you held back? Because this is a question you ask yourself. So you're making 65 million a year, and they tell you, hey man, that's all we can pay you. We can't pay you no more. Are you gonna start playing football and you can't feed your family? Look at that question. You're gonna take the $65 million regardless, and still keep playing. Because then you can't pay your bills. You can't feed your family. Plain and simple. No, you think I'm not making any sense here? All I'm telling you is that the pride and ego is going too far, man, to all these players. Because they assume when you sign a contract, I'll say this because I didn't say this on my other podcast. If you sign a contract, does the contract says this? You need to win a Super Bowl for me. I'm paying you this money for you to win a Super Bowl. Is that written in the contract? Or that contract has written like this: I'm giving you $10 million a year because you're my quarterback on my team, and I expect high expectation from you. I expect you to have a good career. I expect you to have a good spending of lifetime with the ball club. I want you to become the future quarterback or the like I call it franchise quarterback. But remember, on these contracts there is incentives. if you throw the most touchdown, less interceptions, most completion, and winning percentage. We're playing 17-game season from a 16-game season. What happened there? I'm telling you something. That 17-game season, if 16 they were getting hurt and 17 is getting worse, what are you doing? But once again, I tell you this. The NFL is a revenue. They are a revenue. And they're here to make money, regardless. I'm going to tell you something. Today, Raheem Mostert, great quarterback. Running back, not quarterback. Signed a 1-year contract, $2 million, which is nothing. For us it is because we don't make that. For 1 year. And look how much money he was making in Miami. What, $6 million? But you cut him, you let him go. Here comes another team. Hey man, come to play with us, and we'll give you $2 million. So let's say he took a $4 million pay cut, probably more. So that means if you were to tell Raheem Mostert, hey, you want to stay with the Dolphins, man? Go ahead and I'll give you 2 points. Will you take it? He probably would have taken and played with Miami. But see what I'm trying to say? From $6 million, he went down to $2 million and signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. And he had a great year 2 years before. Prior to last year, he had the injury. He fumbled the ball. Everybody say, well, he fumbles the ball too much. Listen, guys, this is the NFL. You're going to get hit. You're going to fumble. I don't care how good you are. Let's be honest. It's the National Football League. You're going to fumble regardless. You're going to get hit. That doesn't mean one day. Najee Harris from Pittsburgh now with the Chargers. He never fumbled his career. Well, somebody jinxed him. He started fumbling the ball lately. That is so normal. But anyhow, once again, I'm gonna go back with the pride and ego, man. It's two different subjects. Basically, it means two different words with two different subjects, but it means basically the same thing. You are a professional athlete in the NFL, baseball, football, whatever kind of sport you play. Your demand is so high that when you walk into a meeting or a team meeting or, you know that I'm the king of the hill. That's on your mindset. Unfortunately, when you think you're the king of the hill, an injury can happen. And so much that the owner will turn around and says, didn't we pay this guy to take us to the next level? And now he's injured. And now we're paying all this money. And he's standing behind the bench. And I'm using an example, Aaron Rodgers. All the Jets fans were excited, waiting for him to start. 3 plays later, his Achilles, and he's out for the season. This is what I'm telling you, man. Anything could happen. But we have to remain our focus on one person. It's the guy up there, God. Now, I'm not telling anybody to do what they got to do or relate. I'm not going into that. Let me clarify that before anything on my podcast. I respect everybody' decisions, opinions, and but we take that route sometimes. And then you ask us why things happen to us in this world. I think we're tested daily. We're tested daily to see where our faith is, where our belief is. Are we doing the right things? Remember, the Bible says this: lack of knowledge, my people will perish. You know what I'm looking now? I'm looking the world perish. Look what's happening right now in the world. And I don't get into politics because I don't get into politics. I don't do that. I'm a sports podcaster. I'm a believer of Jesus Christ, my Father. That's my opinion. I'll try to stay positive all the way across the board. Don't like to judge anybody. Don't like to say, hey, this person is bad. Because at the end of the day, these players, guys, they go home to their family. And you guys heard this from me before. They are for professional people that go home to his family. That they're human and make mistakes? Yes. But what's the difference of paying two receivers, two good receivers? One gets a $10 million contract, but the other one gets $5 million contract, but the other guy's better than the other. What's the picture on that? And this is where the NFL, Major League Baseball, sports, I mean, if you make it a salary across the board, I guarantee you that every NFL player, baseball player, hockey player, NBA player, I continue. Say, wait a minute. Well, this is the rookie contract. That's what the NFL has. They have a rookie contract. Okay, now you show me in 2 years, how well, and then what? It's a 5% increase? Is a 10%? Because it's funny, when we work in our job, what do we get? 3 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents raise, 25 cents raise, $1 raise? These guys get $1 million raise, man. Hundreds of $1,000s a raise. Really? For what? Because he had a 1,000-yard season, had 20 touchdowns, had 213 receptions, but then the following year he falls. But guess what? He ends up making up the same money. That part I don't understand. Regardless of what they do, they end up making the same amount of money across the board. Here we go again. Is that fair? No. But that's what happened when their ego gets high. Well, I'm the highest player wide receiver, so I'm going to make my money regardless. I don't care what you do, And then the guy goes to the quarterback. Hey, man, it's me, 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 me. Throw me the ball. It's me. I'm the guy with the big bucks here. Then the guy with the big bucks get hurt, and they start throwing the ball to the rookie, and then the ego from that guy goes away. You know why? Because now the rookie's getting hot, and now the rookie says, "Wait a minute, I want his money." Because I'm catching on the ball. I'm doing better than the guy that you pay millions of dollars. And here comes the controversial calls that we do in sports. How come this guy has better number than this guy? He's getting paid the more. Those things, guys. It's an issue that the NFL has to fix. And once again, these sports are made for revenue. Right now, if you got the best wide receiver, the best baseball player, all you're doing is filling up the stadium for the owner and GM. Man, look, it's Ohtani's with the Dodgers, man. So you interview one of these fans in the street. Hey, man, why you come to see the Dodgers? Well, I'm a Dodger fan for 15 years, man, but I'm here to see Ohtani. Nothing wrong with that, because it's a fan. See, that's another one that I talked about, fan and fanatics. But it gets to a point that, you know what? The moment Ohtani goes down, you say, oops, how am I going to fill the stadium up? I got to get another name in here. So they go out there in free agency. They get another name to bring him in. Hey, I got this guy. Well, they got this guy. So let's see this guy play baseball. You see what I'm saying? It's a number thing. It's all numbers. Listen, if we stop going to baseball games, football games, what revenue is this sports going to have? All these sports going to have? None. And I'm going to tell you another revenue that we do. Buy their jersey. Buy their cap. And I'm not saying that, if you love doing it, listen, I have no problem with you doing that. But then you got people get mad, get upset. Here comes the fanatics. And start burning things down. When the guy, Lucas, was traded with Davis for the Lakers, what did the fan did? What did the fan base did? They got mad at the Dallas Mavericks for that trade. Which, by the way, it has worked on the Lakers side. Davis has not worked yet on the other side because he's been injured. But you can see it on the players' eyes, man. The pride, their ego. And it's sad to see that. And why is it sad? Because we have our own kids involved in sports. And you don't want your kid to become that guy. That's not a role model, guys. That is not a role model. Let me clarify that. That is not a role model. A role model is a true guy in sports. Let me show you a role model. Ready? And not because I'm an Oriole fan. It's Cal Ripken Jr. And they say, well, why you say that? He never was the high-paid shortstop in the league. He had his contract. He had his year. And what did he have? He had his up and downs. He batted 278 one year. Then he had batted 298. Then, he had his up and down. But he continued consistent. He was a consistent shortstop. Now, he never went to the owner, hey, man, you better pay me this because I'm the best shortstop in the American League East or in the American League, period. This is where we need to focus more. And our kids going into college and going to the pro. What makes you think, Deion Sanders, that you have two kids going to the draft? And I'm not saying that because I love Deion Sanders. He's a great guy, okay? But you got two kids going to the draft, and you want to put them, exhibit them like they could be top number one. See, I think Ward's going to be number one, my University of Miami Hurricane quarterback. I think he should be number one, okay? But here's the thing. I'm going to say it again. How many number one bust has happened in the draft? Don't make it into the NFL. Or if they make it, they failed. Their career is over. So you know what? Stop numbering these kids. Oh, we got top from 1 to 32. We got first round, second round, third round. The way I see it, I'll be honest with you, it's like you classifying these kids with numbers. They're not numbers, guys. And they go, wow, George, you're probably wrong because they, those are rounds, first round, second round, third round draft pick. It doesn't matter. I said on my last podcast, how many schools are there in college? Really? And you're only going to pick up for 32 teams? How many quarterbacks are in the draft? How many wide receivers are in the draft? How many running backs are in the draft? But look how many colleges is out there. But once again, number one, number two. I'm gonna give you an example right now. Tua, Herbert, and they had a controversy about that. Or Herbert's better than Tua. Well, I can tell you the truth. Tua has more wins. Tua has, okay, maybe Tua's hurt. Now Herbert went up, but let me tell you something. At the end of the day, two different quarterbacks. And at the end of the day, look at what they got paid. And here's the sad part. Both quarterback has made it to the playoffs, and they've been eliminated. And I think Tua hasn't won one, and neither Herbert hasn't won one. But you really pay the big bucks. I'm not saying they're bad quarterbacks, guys. I'm not saying they're egos and they got pride, because those two quarterbacks are not like that. But there's quarterbacks out there, they're like that. Somebody told me, you think Aaron Rodgers should sign with Pittsburgh? I'm going to be honest with you. He might end up going to the Giants. And I'm going to tell you why this is his best bet. Because you know what? He could face his Green Bay Packers down there. He could face his team down there. And the results, if he comes to be honest with you, I'm going to give my honest opinion. He should retire. But anyhow, if he goes to any league, Pittsburgh, listen. I talked about this today, man. And I had a lot of people. It was just a controversial, conversation. You had great years. You won Super Bowl. Just let it go, man. I know you say, George, well, they have passions and they love what they're doing, and that's their love of their life. Like Tua on the concussion, that's what Tua loves. And, okay, you want to risk it? Risk it. You want to end up hurt in the field and never get up again? That's up to you, man. But the money's there. Pick the money and go, man. Make it a career. The body is a wear and tear. And for Aaron Rodgers, buddy, whatever he goes, if you don't have a great offensive line, man, you might as well call it quits. And let's be honest, sometimes you might not have it. You think you have it. Listen, he's 41. It's not like he's 25, 26, 27, 28 years old. He's 41 years old. You know what's that? Ego and pride. And you might tell me, no, trust me. Look what the Jets paid him when they traded him, and how much they paid him to come to New York. What they did, a record of 5-12. That's his record in New York, by the way. And then Jets fans went crazy. We got Rodgers. We're going to the Super Bowl. Here we go again. Stop debating. Stop arguing. Stop getting into a conversation about one individual taking to the Super Bowl. It takes a 53-man roster to go to the Super Bowl, not one freaking player. And I need you guys to understand that. We got to take that terminology out of our head. Tyreek Hill went to the Dolphins. Oh man, be careful now, Miami. All the all the controversy thing. All Miami did was Tua led the league in passing. 2 years ago, had a great season. So does Tyreek Hill. He had more yards than what he had with Patrick Mahomes. But here's the difference. Ready? Patrick Mahomes without Tyreek Hill got 2 Super Bowl. So you see the picture here? Pride Eagle. It's going all around the sports, guys. And eventually, if you pass that along, it's going to go to your kids. And you don't need 2 kids to do that. You tell your kids you go out there, and I'm not telling you what to tell your kids. I'm just saying, if I was my kid, well, let's play sports. If you love what you're doing, continue what you're doing. Okay, do the best you can, and every day is another day. What happened yesterday happened yesterday. What's today? We do today. The day's not over. Tomorrow's another day. And sometimes we don't want to do that. Listen, we are born winners, right? We all want to win, right? But sometimes we have to lose to learn. Because, see, losing is a learning process. Winning is not a learning process. You know why? Because once you win, what happens? You forget. When you lose, you always have it in your freaking head. Man, what a night, man. We lost last night. Once again, ego, pride. In baseball, 162 games. Basketball, what, 82? Hockey, about 82 also, 82 or 92, whatever. NFL, 17 games. It's not easy. Every sport is physical. Every sport is not easy to play. When it's time to hang it up, and it's okay, man. You gave your best. But we focus so much about, he wasn't good. He wasn't that good. You can't say that. Dan Marino, for me, is the best quarterback. Broke all the records. And what did he want? A Super Bowl. And what did he said? I trade all my records to have a ring. Here we go again. You know how much Dan Marino got paid? Just check it out. Just go ahead and check it out yourself. Not even the highest paid quarterback. Now, oh my God, these quarterbacks get paid. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I hope he does. Allen got paid $300,000, $1 million for 6 years. I forgot how much guaranteed. Listen, I guarantee you in that cloth, they want him to win at least a Super Bowl. At least win me something in 6 years. And I said in the last podcast, what happened to Allen end up like Dan Marino? Here's a good thing. What a great quarterback, because he is. He is. You got to give him prep. You got to give him, kudos on that. He's a great quarterback. I mean, I never seen a quarterback that strong like Lamar Jackson. Speed, strong, especially Allen. Allen's a beast, man. Great, but he's a beast. And all these quarterbacks have talents and all that. But the moment they get hit, they get injured, they're history. The wear and tear of a body is not going to make you the same person every year. Oh, well, they go to physical therapy, they go to training. It doesn't matter. An injury is an injury, and it never goes away. You can heal from it, but it never goes away. I was seeing Rodgers' past injuries. Oh, my gosh. I thought Tua was bad, but this guy's worse. But, of course, he played more longer than Tua. And I know that they feel that they have it, that they still got it in them. But I don't know, guys. I don't agree with it. But anyhow, I want to thank you so much for those that have subscribed to the channel. I'll come up with a third part with this. This is my second part. I did not announce it. I'll announce it now when I send in my information. See you guys tomorrow. It's Friday. Normally, I do my Friday recap. There's a lot of things I'm catching up. Once again, Dolphin did sign a couple of players today. They got the running back from the Raiders. It's like a swip swap, but it was no trade. Madison from the Raiders, and then they got the guy from TJ from Britt from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is a good pick for the Dolphins. Once again, guys, I want to say one thing, man. When I say these things on my podcast, I don't mean it with any kind of hate or any kind of. It's just reality. Sometimes we have to face reality, and sometimes we don't want to do it. And when we face reality, there is challenges down the road, and we could take it one step at a time. We have individual making all this money in this league, and I'm talking about all sports, okay? But you know what? Instead of helping them, it's actually hurting them. You might not see it that way. I might not see it that way. And I speak this for myself. You have your opinion, and I agree with everything you guys say. I'm not going to disagree. I mean, some people ask me some things that really make sense, and I say, wow, that is so true. See, because in the end of the day, we don't know how this individual lives. We don't know their process. We don't know their personal life, and really, it's none of our business, okay? That's why I don't criticize no players. And you might think I'm criticizing Aaron Rodgers. Look at Brett Favre, great quarterback in Green Bay. Went to the Jets, failed. The same route, the same thing that Aaron Rodgers did. Then he went to Minnesota. Listen, man, you had a great career, man. Just move on. Really, just move on. Give that kid a chance, an opportunity. Let him shine. Let him get into the National Football League. Let him be the starting quarterback. Just give him. If Rodgers would have left Green Bay, I don't think Love would have started. Wouldn't started. But the owner did the right thing. Listen, man, you want more money? We're not going to give you the money. We're going to trade you. It is sad. But anyhow, once again, I'm going to say thank you so much for those that have subscribed to the channel. You guys have a blessed night. And hope to see you guys tomorrow night. And I see if I go live sometime this weekend. But once again, man, thank you for subscribing to the channel. And you guys have a blessed night once again. And listen, stay encouraged. Stay uplifted. Love one another. Help one another. And support one another. Thank you so much. And you guys have a blessed night. See you soon.